it's in round or urban agriculture or light industrial, heavy industrial, and he has less than 5, then you don't need a permit at all to store it out there.
Okay.
If he has, if it's not in one of those issues, then he would have a, you obviously could not apply for a permit to store a car on another person's property. It would be, he would then have the choice of either applying for a auto reduction recycling center conditional use permit. If he were granted that, then he could store as many cars as he wanted or whatever size he wanted. No size limitations would apply. He also could choose, and this is a new alternative that's been proposed, to apply for a collector car conditional use permit. And if he chose to apply for that, then he would be granted a number of cars that could be stored on the property. Those cars could not exceed the 1.5 ton limit.
So the vehicles that are stored on his property could be owned by other people, kind of like a multi-user's permit?
It wouldn't be a multi-user permit. It would be a permit in the holder's name. Now, if you are, nothing expressly prohibits this, but if it's you're applying for a permit to store a large number of cars, the collector car permit storage conditional use permit would probably not be the appropriate permit to apply for. The auto reduction recycling center would be a more appropriate permit to apply for, which would allow much more latitude than you would have under the collector car. And that, as we sit here today, that's available to anyone to come in if they're in the correct zoning to apply for that auto reduction and recycling. What this collector car permit does is give any person an additional alternative and a place to store cars.
I guess my concern with that would be if it's a reducing permit and he's out there and a bunch of us that live in town have vehicles that are now coming out of the woodwork and we need somewhere to put them, and we all go to him, we wouldn't be reducing, we'd be increasing. How could you take care of that?
Define the auto reduction.
Auto reduction recycling center is the name of the conditional use permit, and it is a place where cars are stored and reduced, recycled, or whatever the case may be. They can just be stored there. They don't have to be. There's no requirement that you have a reduction in number. There is no number limit for a auto reduction recycling conditional use permit.
Okay.
But it has to be in the right zone. You can only get it for certain zones.
And if it's not in the right zone, they can apply to get their zone changed?
They can apply, but that might be a hard process.
So it still could be a problem for us if he's not zoned for a place to store our vehicles.
What's he zoned now?
I don't know.
He's in the right place.
He's zoned properly?